Hello, Seiiti Arata. Probably you will hate hearing this, but if you get triggered easily, you are stupid. Well, that's right. The more easily you get offended, the less intelligent you are. And this is not about how smart you are in terms of IQ, it is more about emotional intelligence. It is about how well you can manage your emotions and handle the challenges that life throws at you. You see, when you let every comment or different opinion upset you, you're showing that your emotions control you instead of the other way around. True intelligence means staying calm, thinking clearly, and getting the best results for yourself so you can have a better life. However, when you're constantly offended, you're wasting your mental energy on things that don't really matter. Instead of focusing on what is important, you end up stuck in a cycle of reacting to every little thing that bothers you. And that's why being easily offended is not just unhelpful, it is stupid. It means you're not living your life intelligently. Letting others control your emotions means that you're losing control over your own life. Every time you get offended, you let someone else decide how you feel. When someone's words or actions upset you, you're giving them power over your emotions. This means you're constantly reacting to what others say and do instead of focusing on you and your life and your goals. When you're stuck in anger, you lose your freedom. The more you focus on what is upsetting you, the less you focus on improving yourself. You miss out on opportunities because, your mind is too occupied with what someone said or how they said and what they did. You're too obsessed on making things differently. You're so angry and people say to you, oh, just let it go. And then you're literally stuck to those problems. That's not an intelligent way to live your life, right? And this can also degrade your personal relationships. Be careful. Just think about it. Would you like to spend your time near somebody who gets triggered all the time? It's like walking on eggshells. Every little word you say has to be carefully examined before, otherwise it might lead to conflict. So my question is, what about you? Do you understand that if you get offended so easily, nobody really wants to be around near you? Well, that's the stereotype of the angry social justice warrior, lonely living with a pet because other humans cannot tolerate that person. It's too mentally tiring. People start to avoid you when they see how easily you get offended. They might stop sharing their real thoughts with you because they are afraid of how you might react. There is going to be only superficial conversations, if any. And this will, in turn, isolate you. It will limit your ability to hear new ideas, new perspectives, because without the input from others, you might get stuck in your own little bubble, your narrow view of the world. So to make sure you develop your intelligence, you can take a look at the link, keep here, arata.se/intelligence. We'll cover much more than just memorization, learning techniques. It's really about thinking in a better way. So, if you get offended, where there was no actual intention to offend, well, that's being a fool. But if you get offended where there was an intention to offend you, you're an even greater fool because you gave up your control. You're now being manipulated by those people who are enjoying messing with you. Please do not do that. That's not intelligent. When you react emotionally without thinking, you fall into a trap. You're letting your emotions take over, you lose sight of what's really happening, and people who want to upset you, they can do it easily because they know how to push your buttons. This gives them power over you. The smarter choice is to stay calm, to think clearly, and keep control of your emotions. So let's examine the psychology. Why do you overreact? Well, it can be many reasons. It can be that truth hurts, it can be entitlement, it can be an old hurt, a dopamine addiction, or maybe the self-image you have about yourself. When something offends you, it's usually because it is affecting you personally. The things that bother us most are those that have some truth to them. Maybe somebody points a flaw that you are aware of, but you don't like to admit. That's why certain comments might bother you more than other comments, because they force you to face something about yourself that makes you uncomfortable. When you're most offended by things that are threatening your self-image, think about it. There are things that usually challenge how you see yourself. If you believe you're somebody who's hardworking and then somebody calls you lazy, it will annoy you deeply, right? You're offended because it threatens how you perceive yourself. So your reaction is not just about the comment itself, but it's about protecting the sense of who you are. Another reason why you might overreact is because you're too good of a person. That can also happen if you have very high standards, a strong sense of fairness. You genuinely want to do the right thing. You want to act with kindness. So anything that falls below that very high standard can seem incredibly unfair, intolerable. It will make you react strongly to stuff that other people might not even notice or they might ignore. But you cannot close your eyes and ignore it because you feel it's not just wrong, it's fundamentally unjust. Also, being easily offended often comes from thinking too high of yourself, believing that you deserve to be treated in a certain way. This is called entitlement. So the solution is to be more humble. Because when you think too high of yourself, you're more likely to take things personally. You expect others to treat you with a certain level of respect, and when they don't, you see it as a very big offense. This way of thinking makes you more vulnerable. You get more upset because you believe you deserve this special treatment and that other people should always agree to your point of view. But there are other situations. The reason is that you get offended so easily could be because of some old wounds that have never healed. If you have been hurt in the past, insulted in the past, similar comments in the present moment can trigger some overreaction. You're not just reacting to what is being said right now, but also to the pain that you had before. That makes your response more intense because it is connected to this that is not solved, to this issue from the past. If that's the case, therapy can help you a lot. There's also something else to point out. Getting offended can feel good because your brain gets rewards with a hit of dopamine. Believe it or not, getting offended can actually, in a certain way, feel good. When you react to something that offends you, your brain releases dopamine and suddenly you shift from that mental state of feeling bored, feeling tired, to suddenly have this rush of energy and excitement, and this creates a kind of a weird reward system. So please be careful with that. And now finally, let's talk about two extreme opposites about self-image. On the one side, you have a very weak sense of reality. You're not really sure who you are, so everything feels like a threat. You're more likely to get offended because you don't have a solid foundation to stand on without a clear sense of self. Even small comments can feel like personal attacks, so you're constantly on guard, you're ready to defend against anything that might challenge this already fragile identity. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, you have a very strong sense of identity. This can also be problematic because the more certain you are about your beliefs, the more easily you get offended when these beliefs are being challenged. The more convinced you are about your beliefs, that being the absolute truth, it's more easily that you will get offended when somebody challenges these ideas. This happens because you see any disagreement as a personal attack rather than just a difference of opinion. You see that? When you're so sure that you are right, it's hard to accept that things might be a little bit different. And this kind of a false confidence makes you more likely to take offense because you can't tolerate the idea that somebody else may have a valid point. Okay, so let's go for practical actions. How can you handle controversial situations? That's also something that will demonstrate your intelligence level. When you're faced with a controversial topic, the way you respond will tell a lot about your intelligence. A smart approach means that you're open to new arguments, even if these arguments are objectively wrong. You should be able to listen to them calmly and then explain calmly what is wrong about it and not get offended and lose your control. To actually learn how your brain works and to unlock your intelligence, you can visit the link arata.se/intelligence. We're going to do exercises together. This will really change your life. So, okay, that's a good approach. On the other hand, a less intelligent approach involves ignoring all the evidence that contradicts what you know. Because you cling to your worldview. You see, it's the only truth. It will be upsetting to see different information. Instead of engaging in a rational discussion, you take disagreement personally, you see it as a threat. This reaction will limit your opportunities to learn and grow, improvement opportunities, because then you keep to a very narrow perspective. Imagine, for example, a medical professional who gets very angry when you ask about side effects of some prescription. If you're asking for information in a respectful way, there is no reason to be offended, right? But if that doctor is not very intelligent, it is possible that you're going to see a very angry face of somebody who just got offended because of a question. So think about it. The more you ignore evidence that is the opposite to what you want to believe, the more you cling to your views, the more you get upset about conflicting information. You're showing that your thinking is rigid. It's really closed. And this doesn't only hurt your ability to grow, it also makes it less effective to deal with all the complexities of life. There's one more point. I want to say that never being offended can be as harmful as being easily offended. Yes, it is important to not be easily offended. That's what we're talking about here. But going too far in the other direction can also be a problem, because if you're never offended, it might mean you're kind of disconnected from issues that really matter. You might lack strong personal values or convictions. This can make you passive in situations where you should, in a healthy way, take a stand, especially when real injustice is happening. So the goal here is not to be completely unbothered by everything, is to find a balance. So you can respond thoughtfully and with intention, not be reacting out of habit or not reacting at all, right? Okay, so how can we stop being easily offended? You have to learn critical thinking. Go to arata.se/intelligence. You have to study how to analyze information objectively. This will allow you to evaluate situations more accurately, will reduce the chances of taking things personally. For example, just consider you might be wrong. There is the possibility that your beliefs might not be completely accurate. Just by doing this, you are more open to learning and growing. Pause before reacting. Before something upsets you, just take a moment to ask yourself, is this really going to matter in 1 year? This simple pause will put things in perspective and prevent you from overreacting. Face reality, accept that things are the way they are, not as you wish they were. This doesn't mean that you have to like everything, but it means that you should deal with the world as it is, not as you would like it to be. Check your ego. Sometimes getting offended is more about your ego than the actual situation. You have to recognize when your reaction might be about protecting your pride rather than actually addressing a real issue. Also practice empathy. I always talk about it. Try to understand where other people are coming from, especially when you don't agree with them. This will help you to connect with other people on a deeper level, will make you less likely to feel offended by their views. Ultimately, you're being triggered. So you have to identify your triggers. Ask yourself, why is this bothering me so much? Is there some truth here? Understanding your triggers can help you to respond more calmly and thoughtfully in the future. You can look deeper. Often what offends you is not really about the current situation. You can ask yourself, what is really bothering you? And all of this is more about using your intelligence more effectively. Remember, true intelligence is about how you handle your feelings, how you can grow from the challenges you have. That's why you can visit arata.se/intelligence and we can get started. It's not always about being right or never being offended. That's not the point. True intelligence lies in how you handle, you manage your emotions, you learn from your experiences. The less easily offended you are, the more opportunities you have to learn, to grow, and to improve yourself.